Good evening. Welcome to another episode of Sigh of Relief. I'm your host, Tony, and joining me is Kaya. Kaya, what's going on?
Just a little busy week, but it's going good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I had a productive week, nothing too crazy. I know you got a lot of more craziness and drama going on your end than I do, but for a Wednesday, this isn't bad. So, still looking forward to the weekend.
I keep thinking it's the weekend, actually.
Mhm.
Yeah, need to get
You
my
got
ducks in a row. Doesn't feel like a Wednesday.
you got what? You got 2 more days left. You got Thursday and Friday left, and then the weekend will be yours. Hopefully, you're done unpacking. You're not doing any more unpacking.
I'm on PTO this week, so
So you on PTO right now?
yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it's what eight o'clock, so I mean,
oh
I wouldn't
PTO
be working
starts now.
anyway. But
Okay, okay, cool. All right, so you
PTO
got
started, yeah, yesterday. So
oh, okay, so you got yeah, you got the rest of the week. How many days are you taking off? You taking a week or just a few days?
just the rest of this week, and then half of Monday. Not
Oh,
a full
okay,
week, but
that's still pretty good. That's plus the weekend. That's more than enough time to recover from the stresses of work,
yeah.
take care of personal errands, spend your money on Amazon. So I think you'll be
Be out of
good.
corporate land for a few days is nice.
Right, right. So,
My
do you have
boots
anything
ain't on the ground.
Okay, yeah, right. Do you have anything special going on this weekend? Are you going to take yourself out for your birthday month or?
That's the plan. I have a trip planned for tomorrow, so we'll
Oh,
see if I get
nice.
packed because I haven't packed. I haven't done anything, so
Oh yeah,
we'll
you
figure it
you
out.
slacking, you slacking, slacking.
What's your plans for
So,
this weekend?
uh, nothing much. I probably take myself to a steakhouse, probably Friday or Saturday. There's a spot that I want to go to, that I'll check out. Probably go grab a drink Friday or Saturday, and watch NBA playoffs. So, as you know, NBA playoffs is going on. It's your favorite time of the year, so catch up
Absolute
on that.
favorite.
Right. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started with our first story, which I thought was pretty interesting. I saw this story and I decided, to put it on our agenda for things to talk about. So Uber recently released their Lost and Found Index, which documents some of the most commonly forgotten items left behind by riders. And you've already probably thought about what have you left behind as a rider? What do your friends leave behind? So it's the typical stuff: phones, wallet,
Phone.
keys,
Yeah.
headphones. Uh, just wanted to ask you. I know you're not a big rideshare person. What's one of the most critical items that you've ever or someone that's left in an Uber ride or a Lyft ride when traveling with you or traveling by themselves?
So of course, cell phone, and then
Yeah.
my personal favorite because I left this and lost this, an Apple Watch.
Oh,
Um, yeah, yeah. I'm still sad about it to this day.
you didn't get it
It
back?
never it never got recovered. No. So I think what happened is it fell off in the
Hmm.
Uber, and then I think when I got out of the car,
Hmm.
it like, I don't know if my foot dragged it out, but it just pinged in the same location for months,
Oh
but
my God.
I could never find it. So
Do you think
yeah,
it
that
fell
was
like in
my,
a gutter?
like a,
Or,
yeah, maybe a gutter, a
mhm,
bush,
mhm.
somewhere that was unreachable.
So,
But
so
I'm still sad about the Apple Watch.
so you got pinged every day for months that you lost your Apple Watch and you couldn't do nothing about it. You couldn't complain to Uber because it was in the same location and it wasn't inside one of their
Right.
vehicles. So,
Exactly. So I did reach out to Uber and I'm like, did I leave this? And the guy, he did look for it. He said no. But
mhm,
then you can, it's, so I'm sure you have like Find Your Phone. So iPhone
no.
has Find Your iPhone. Okay. So it'll
I
tell
have it.
you
I
like,
have it. I just don't use it because I'm like
you don't use it.
I
Okay.
rarely lose stuff. So
Oh, well, that's nice. I lose stuff all the time.
I know you
But
do.
so
It, I got a
it,
story
it,
for you.
oh gosh. Oh, I hope I remember this. But it told me where the Apple Watch was, but I just couldn't like pinpoint the exact areas. So,
Mhm.
and that was like my second or third Apple Watch. So I've had
Oh my
like
God.
4 or 5 Apple Watches.
Yeah. So you don't need any more Apple Watches
Nope.
at this point.
I haven't bought another one. I haven't bought another
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. No. So it's funny because the last time I saw you, when you got out of the Uber, you dropped something. I
That's
don't know
very
what
on
you
brand for me.
I don't know what you dropped. I don't know if it was your keys, your cell phone, your earbuds. You dropped something. You said, "Oh, can you get that?" It's like, I got it for you because you saw it fall. I saw it fall. I heard it fall. But that's how you lost your iWatch, your Apple Watch.
Yeah. Yep.
You dropped it and you didn't hear it. And so,
Nope.
yeah, that's why when I get out of Ubers, Lyfts, or whatever, the first thing I do is pat my pockets. Make sure I have my
Yeah.
cell phone, my wallet, my keys in my hand, my lip balm, and that's all I travel with. So I don't have to worry about forgetting anything else. I don't really travel with earbuds unless I have like a bag to put them in, like a computer bag.
Mhm.
Um, I hate losing stuff. Like I've never lost keys to the house, and I've had keys to the house since I was 9 years old, and I've never lost keys to the house. Like
Oh, that's
I'm not.
good. You're very responsible.
Yeah, I'm not. I can't lose. If I lose some keys to the house, my mom would have tore me up.
Because
So,
then everybody can get in the house. Like you get the
no,
key.
no. So, and it's not like now where you can get like a lock system on your phone. You can tap your phone against the lock, or you can type in the code.
Right.
If you didn't have those physical keys, growing up,
Yeah, that's
that
true.
was it. You either had to,
Game
and then you had to
over.
call a locksmith, and then your
Hmm.
mama gonna be scared that somebody gonna come in the house at night because you lost the
Which I
keys.
would too. I would too.
Right,
That's fair. So
right,
you've
right.
never lost like your cell phone before?
No,
A cell phone?
absolutely.
No.
Only thing I lose is lip balm, and I think I lose that because it's small
Okay.
and it rolls out of my pocket, or my
Yeah,
pockets
that's
may not
fair.
be deep enough. So I hate losing stuff. Like if I lose something, I'll think about it for days. Like I won't even be able to sleep. Like
You'll
I
fixate
don't.
on it.
Yeah, I'm on it. Like I am not losing anything.
I
So
lose my phone with it in my hand. I'm like, oh my God, where's my phone? Then I'm like, oh, it's in
oh,
my
it's in
hand.
my hand. Or I've done that with my earbuds. Like they're in my ear, and I'm like
Hmm.
walking around the house like, where are my earbuds at? And like they're in my ear. So yeah. So uh, Uber's Lost and Found Index. One of the things they discovered is that the most forgetful cities are New York, Miami, and Chicago. So I'm going to
Yeah.
assume those
Okay.
cities, people forget the most items. What
People
would be your?
probably use Uber more in New York though than most other cities
Yeah,
too. So
yeah,
I think
yeah. I
that
was
would
thinking that.
be a correlation.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking that. I was like, did they do this per capita per 100,000, or it's just
All right.
a random number they came up with as a total? So, what do you think is the most forgetful weekend of the year, where people lose and leave the most things in Uber vehicles?
My first thought was 4th of July, but
Okay.
I want to New Year's.
Okay, that's a really good guess, but it's actually Halloween weekend. That's Saturday.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
so,
No, wouldn't
so
have
sa-
guessed that.
yeah, so same logic. People are out late and they're drinking, and they forget their keys, their uh, wallet, their phone. But I think New Year's it was up there, but Halloween weekend is probably they had it as number one. So I assume more
Okay.
people go out on Halloween than New Year's. A lot of people stay in the house on New Year's. They go to church. They stay with family. Um, they travel. But
Yeah.
there's a pretty interesting story. Within the Lost and Found Index, some of the odd items were papers, uh, mannequins with the head. I don't know if you've seen women who do hair and
Oh,
makeup for
like
a living.
wigs.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a mannequin. It has like
That's a
a
big thing
wig,
to leave though.
not the whole mannequin, just the head.
Still, how do you leave a whole head in a car?
How do you leave your divorce papers? But people do it. So divorce papers. I saw a chainsaw,
Oh,
um,
okay. How you leave
dog,
that?
uh,
Dog.
luggage. So, I mean, you'd be surprised. A lot of people they want to get rid of their dogs. I've seen videos on YouTube where people they don't know they're being recorded and they'll drive somewhere and they'll like kick the dogs out of the car and try to drive
I've
off.
heard of that, but leaving
Yeah,
it in
that
somebody
happens.
else's car is odd.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if you got parents that try to leave their kids. So
Mm.
Yeah, people
Well,
wild.
that's a whole
So
different charge.
right. So hey, let me leave you in this Uber.
They're right.
And so that's like the people who leave their dogs. So speaking of people leaving things and people having things they shouldn't have. A Texas man was recently sentenced to 4 months in custody for trying to smuggle illegal, endangered spider monkeys into the United States. A man was recently attempting to sell some animals on Facebook Marketplace for thousands
Facebook.
of dollars, but unfortunately, he got caught. Unfortunately for him, but fortunately for the rest of the people,
Right.
he got caught. So with this story, one of the things I thought of, like, what would be one of if you could choose any exotic animal, what exotic animal would you choose to have as a pet if you had the option to have as a pet?
A giraffe.
Where you gonna put a giraffe at?
Outside.
Yeah, your
I live in a
neighbors gonna be
high.
like, she got a giraffe sticking out the window, like with a big neck.
Yeah, I have a high rise, so it could be right outside my window,
All
and then I
right,
just open my window and I could feed it and pet it, and
I'm
be
good.
my animal.
I'm good. You ever seen giraffes
I
fight?
love giraffes. No.
No, it's not pretty. They swing their neck like this, and they
Well, it's
and they
not gonna
hit
be
it
another
against each other.
giraffe.
Well,
It
it
won't be
may
another
attack
giraffe
you
for them.
for keeping it in the house.
Oh, then I shut that window closed.
I don't think that window is gonna help. But yeah, I don't know what's going on in Texas with people trying to smuggle in illegal spider monkeys, and spider monkeys are on an endangered species list.
What is a
So
spider? I don't even know what a spider monkey
a
is.
spider monkey looks like a monkey that can possibly fit in your hand. It's all
Oh, it's
black.
tiny.
It's tiny. Well, the ones I saw were babies. It's tiny,
Mm,
and from the pictures, the man had the monkeys in diapers because I assume they were urinating
yeah,
all over the place, and so I think he had them in a backpack with like a heat lamp on them to prevent them from getting cold because of course they're not used to being in the United States. They need probably tropical environments. But
yeah.
trying to sell something like that on Facebook Marketplace, and for me reading the story, this guy's second time getting arrested for attempting to smuggle
Wow.
and sell something illegally in the United States.
Where he get them from?
I don't know. I'm gonna assume probably South America, or that's the only place I can think of.
Okay.
And so monkeys are one of the animals that carry diseases that can easily cross from animal to
Mhm.
human. And
Yeah.
so, you on Facebook and you see a little cute monkey with big eyes wearing a diaper like it's
Right.
a baby, and you buy it. Next thing you know, we got the new pandemic going around because you got spider
Right.
monkeys in your house.
Right. I would never have a monkey as a pet anyway. That just doesn't belong in the house.
Hmm.
I would have a giraffe, but I would not have a monkey. What would you choose?
Probably like a baby, like bear, like a little cute bear, like a
A
little
baby
brown bear,
bear.
like a brown bear, a polar bear. But they get big, so and they
I would
they they
yeah.
they eat meat. So after once they reach like teenage years, I probably
They
just
have to
go,
get older at some point. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So if you see some guy dumping a bear in the woods, that's
Is
me.
you.
That's me. And if you riding your bike on a trail throughout some wooded area and a bear jumps out, that's my
It
bear.
was you.
It was
Okay.
my bear. So, but
I feel
bears
like
are very
even baby
cute. Yeah.
bears would be aggressive though.
Mm,
I feel like to some
yeah.
degree. It's a bear.
I feel like giraffes would be aggressive too.
I don't know. I ain't seen no giraffe attacking people, but
Yeah.
could be
Yeah. I
wrong.
mean, if you take them out of their natural environment, I'm pretty sure they're going to attack something. You know what giraffes eat?
Maybe grass, trees,
I, I, yeah, I don't know. Probably not.
vegetation.
Yeah, probably not no regular American trees. They eat some exotic African or Asian trees. So,
Maybe I get some shipped in.
all right, cool. Yo, grocery bill gonna go from being a few $100s to a few $1,000s.
Maybe yeah. You're probably on to something.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So I don't know if this story affects you. It definitely affects me, and I'm pretty sure it affects thousands of other people, if not millions. So student loan borrowers will
Oh
have
gosh,
will have to begin repaying their debt soon. I think it's early next month,
it's next. Yeah, May 5th, I think.
May 5th. And so the White House is, discussing along with the Department of Education, uh, having if they failed to pay their student loans. And this move is part of an effort to collect overdue student loan debts following the pandemic pause. The new policies allows the government to garnish wages. The new policy that they're proposing is going to bring wage garnishment associated with your weekly or biweekly paycheck that you get from
Hmm.
your normal employer, your tax refund, and also your possible Social Security benefits. And borrowers have already began to receive notifications of Uncle Sam reaching into their bank accounts. So, like I said, I know this is going to affect me, and from your uh, look on your face, I'm assuming it's going to affect you.
Oh yeah. But this is only for people who have not been paying. So I think our
Mhm.
responsible counterparts who have been paying, they're
Mhm.
fine. I don't think they have anything to worry about.
Right, right, right.
But I am one of the people who definitely has not been paying.
Listen, when they sent them emails out during COVID, I ignored them. I continued to pay because I said if it's going to be a
That's good.
pause and no interest rates are going to occur, I'm going to continue to pay this.
Yeah,
So um,
that's good.
I
I'm
don't know
proud
about
of
you.
you.
I don't know about you owning no giraffe because they about to take you all your money.
Yeah, and I just need to. But they actually have me on a forbearance because
Mhm.
I had tried to set up like separate programs that they have. Like they have the Save program, they have a bunch of different programs. So I tried to set that up, but they just kept pushing me back, pushing me back, pushing me
Mhm.
back. So I'm on a forbearance now because they didn't put me on a specific program in a certain amount of time. So it
Mhm.
sounds like they're struggling too.
Right.
Um, um, but all that to say, like I do need to get set back on something because please do not garnish my checks. I pay y'all whatever y'all want, but don't take none out
Right.
my
So,
check.
I don't know if you receive your income tax check or if you even are planning
I'm
to
not getting
receive
anything.
one.
Yeah.
But you would have found out the hard way if they would have sent you a notification
Hmm.
say, you know what, this is our money this year. You ain't
Which
getting
that would have
nothing.
been fine with me. I don't even that would have been fine. But the
Mhm.
paychecks, because it's like student loans or rent, like which one, you know?
Right, right. And I
Um,
think when they take the money out of your check, they got to contact your employer as well. So not only will they take your
not a good
money,
look.
yeah, it is not a good look. It's like having child support on you taking out of your check. You
Right.
don't want to go to HR and be like, yeah, my baby mama,
Hmm.
or for you, my baby daddy taking all my money this month.
Right. Yeah,
So
seriously.
yeah.
Um, I think though the frustrating part about it is I think specifically our generation, like we were
Mhm.
really pushed to go to college, and there's a big group of people, me being one of them, who really didn't understand like what I was taking out and what those interest rates were saying. Like I just took it out for the sake
Mhm.
of my parents can't afford for me to go. I can't
Mhm.
afford to pay out of pocket. And I've been told since, I could remember I had to go to college. Like you have to go to college. There is no other option for you. And so
Mhm.
we took out these very predatory loans,
Mhm.
and now we're paying them back, and we're not getting what we were promised. We were promised if
Mhm.
we went to school, we would have like these high paying jobs and we would be able to afford houses and live lavishly.
That ain't
And
happening.
unfortunately, no, that's not happening. And I have 2 degrees. So my student loans are not, I'm not the people who are complaining about having $5,000 student loans. My student
Oh,
loans are
that's insane.
hefty, very
Yeah.
hefty. I'll be
So
probably paying it off for my whole life. So, yeah.
are you willing to give up your job, uh, your lifestyle, your apartment, and give those degrees back and possibly go work at something that pays like a quarter of what you earn now?
I honestly feel like I didn't need the 2 degrees that I have, I do think that they have helped, but
Mhm.
I didn't need them to work where I work now. My boss,
Yeah,
she doesn't have any of the degrees that I have, and she is my boss. So,
right. And your boss watches our channel, so that's pretty good.
I mean, no, that's just facts. I'm not.
No,
That's not a diss
no,
to her.
yeah, yeah,
She's
I
smart.
agree. Yeah, I agree. You know, I feel like if you not going to college to be, a lawyer and a
A
lawyer at a top
doctor.
lawyer, doctor,
Yeah.
it ain't worth it. I mean, some of the stuff that I hear people studying now, it's worse than when we were in school. Like now people are studying like art and fashion, and I'm like, what? Like, yeah, I didn't know
Yeah.
what I know now, but I wouldn't want to change anything. I just pay these bills off. And I do have a friend who received notification that his credit score was just hit because he hasn't paid
Yep.
his student
Mhm.
loans, and
Yep.
you need that credit score to get a job. You can't get a
Yeah.
job with a bad credit score.
Well, I guess it depends
Not
on
the
the
job
role.
you want.
I was gonna say I haven't had a credit check done at the last few jobs, but
Okay. Well, I had a
um,
credit check everywhere I've been,
oh
but it
well,
also depends on what position you're
yeah,
in,
for
what
sure.
type of company you work for. But it's going to affect whether or not you can rent an apartment. Uh,
Yep. Oh yeah,
you know,
mainly
yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Um, yeah, we better get on NailNet or wherever we got our student loans and get to
right, right,
setting
right,
up some sort of plan and have it
right,
figured out come May 5th. Because, ooh,
right. And yeah, like I said, and you just hit it. I think it's called NailNet. I think they changed the name. It used to be called something else.
they did, they
So,
did.
well, at least you read the emails. So when they tell you your bills due, you read it and you know the name change. You ain't just ignoring it.
Yeah. I
So,
mean, I am because I'm not paying it, but
well, you can get a payment plan, and the thing, not just you, anybody can get a payment plan. But the thing
yeah.
about payment plans, you have to be careful. If you make it based on your income and you get a
Mhm.
raise, they're gonna take more money. So you got to be
Yeah.
careful with those income based credit payment plans. Just if possible, just pay it
Yeah.
off, or just make some type of monthly payment. So Uncle Sam is not
Mine will not be
taking your
paid
money.
off in this. Mine will not
Yeah,
be paid off in this lifetime. I can
right.
guarantee you that.
So next thing you know, they're gonna be knocking on your door saying, "Where my money at?"
Oh, they could have the monthly payments, but they won't see it ever paid off. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we'll see. It's just something the last administration tried to do, which
mhm.
I don't think it was constitutionally possible. So, um,
Right. They didn't give us no time. It's what they gave us maybe a week, 2 weeks,
to do what?
2 weeks max to
To pay the
know
bills?
that come May 5th they're going to be garnished because this just came out not even a full week ago.
Yeah,
So May
literally.
5th, maybe 2 weeks. They're like, you need to figure out your payments within 2 weeks, which also seems predatory, honestly.
Right. Right. Well, they know you folks are getting paid within those 2 weeks. So, and I'm pretty sure, like I said, notifications are gonna start first before they start garnishing wages. So
Yeah.
they're not gonna garnish wages for the people who attempt to set up payment plans. Even if you
Yeah.
send $1, I doubt they're gonna garnish your wages as long as you showing that you're trying to pay. The
Yeah.
folks they're gonna come after are the people who don't want to pay and that
Yeah.
probably have real, good incomes and salaries, and they still refuse to pay. So we'll see.
I may fall in that bucket, but we will see.
Yeah. So if not, I'm gonna give the current administration your telephone number so they can call you.
I
So
changed my phone number.
speaking of the current administration, the White House has proposed a baby bonus, in a sense of aim at getting families to increase the number of children they have. The plan includes offering $5,000 to families as part of efforts to boost the U.S. birth rate, which has been declining like most Western nations. The
Yep.
proposal is an attempt to reverse the trend of declining workforce participation and also economic, what do I want to say?
Stimulation.
Retraction. Yeah, because we need people to spend money. So Do you know of any young families or young couples that are trying to have babies or talking about having babies or have had babies in the last 12 months?
Sure don't. I only have one friend who's same age as me, her
Mhm.
early 30s. She just had her first baby. She's not even one.
Okay.
Um, she says that will be her first, that will be her last.
No, it's not
And
very
that's the
nice.
only. No,
It's not.
I think it's gonna be her last. Um, yeah, she's the one friend I have that has had a baby since we've been in our 20s, 30s. I think that people are definitely pausing and wondering
Mhm.
about if, now is an appropriate time to have kids and can I afford kids.
Right.
So I think that's why you're really seeing the decline with, families who are willing to have 4, 5, and 6 kids. I know
Mhm.
you come from you're an only child, but my parents, they have 4 kids.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. But they did their job,
yeah, I can't
Now
imagine
it's your
myself having
turn.
4 kids.
Yeah, I
No.
think you could probably have about three. You don't gotta have four. You can have three.
Mm-mm. I wouldn't
Get
even
you
want to have more than 2.
get you one of them young guys that you be talking about. Get you about three kids.
Okay. But this is on brand for me, and I we talked about this last week that,
Mhm.
we're going to see more single women, we're going to see more single men, we're going to see more loneliness um when we start to get, 50, 60, 70.
I
So
see
I
it
think that
now.
this is, yeah. Well, that too. So I think that this is on brand that, people aren't having kids at the same rates that they were in the 40s, 50s, 60s.
Yeah, people are having
But
dogs instead. I
yeah,
mean,
but $5,000 also isn't an incentive to have a kid either.
yeah, I agree, $5,000, but stuff like tax credits, it'd be nice if
That's not an
families.
incentive.
I think it is not a payment, but families that are married that have more than two kids. I think
Hmm.
their tax rate, working families, not just rich families who don't have to work,
Hmm.
but working families, they should pay a lot. Their tax rate should be a lot less than what everyone else's is. If my tax rate is 33% or 30%, and you're married and you have multiple kids, more than two, 15%, like literally half the taxes. I mean, that'll be a good incentive to get people to have children. I mean,
I don't think
because right now,
so. A little lump sum payment one time a year.
not a lump sum, but just meaning you pay less in taxes. So
Oh,
instead of
okay.
your paychecks being taxed at 25, 30%, your checks are like taxed at 12% or 15%. Uh,
Gotcha.
if your
Okay.
spouse has the income, maybe their check isn't taxed. But
Hmm.
I'm pretty sure the folks at the IRS, the Treasury, they know some type of voodoo magic they can do when it comes to accounting to get this stuff, get the income coming into the federal government while also getting people to have more children.
Does that make you want to have a kid?
Yeah,
Any of those
yeah,
incentives?
yeah. I may start this weekend. Matter of fact, I need that
Okay.
$5,000. But
Cool.
no, no, $5,000 is not. No,
That's nothing. I could
no.
spend that on myself in a weekend. Like
Oh
for
man.
real.
You can
Easy.
spend it on that giraffe. So yeah, that money
Right.
gonna be gone on fruits and vegetables for a giraffe. You ain't even got no kid. You just got a giraffe.
5,000 wouldn't even make me blink an eye for a baby.
No, no, 5,000
So,
isn't much. But I mean, we need more people in the country working because one of the things I noticed during COVID and right after COVID.
do we?
'Cause have you been out? It's so many places that say now hiring because nobody wants to work.
And they're not hiring though.
Uh,
Just because they
jobs.
say now hiring don't mean that they're hiring. These places are
Yeah,
full at full capacity. There's so
I
many
agree
people
with that.
looking for jobs right now. The
There are a lot of people
unemployment
looking for jobs.
rate is not what they're reporting.
Yeah, but we also need consumers. Our parents are
No,
probably not going to be working in the next 15 years.
I don't agree with that. Why don't we? It looks like we need to move more towards not being so much of a consumer society. I think that's the
I agree with
issue.
that. Start
We've
building and producing.
we framed everything around you need to spend money, but I don't think that people are falling into that. So whether people have more kids or not, that doesn't
Mhm.
mean they're going to buy more.
Right, right.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's a
That's not
lot
me.
of variables involved with people having kids and how it affects the economy. But when you have a parent, clothing, you have to buy toys, you have to pay for education, you have to pay for travel, you have to pay for services. And that just puts money in the economy and increases the velocity of the money that moves through the economy. So, uh, I remember growing up, there was a lot of kids in my neighborhood. Um, I rarely see kids when I travel and move around. I may see a family or a couple
Oh,
with
they're
kids,
there.
but where they at? Because I don't see them.
Kids is there.
So when you travel back home, I'm not sure what kind of community you're in, but do you see kids in your community? Do you see kids in your community now?
I do. I do.
Okay.
Well, now no, because I feel like where I live is more geared towards
Adults.
younger people who don't have kids. Yeah,
Right.
younger adults who don't have kids. I don't have a kid myself. But I feel like if I lived in a cul-de-sac, then yeah, I would probably
Oh yeah.
see kids.
Yeah. And then right. And then kids don't go outside the way well, I went outside when I was a
Yeah,
kid. I
that
know
too.
in the summertime in Chicago, I mean, I was outside the moment the sun came up. I was outside
Yeah,
like
right.
doing stuff. Like now you got video games, you got social media.
And it's
Um,
not as safe for kids to just be out from sun up to sundown as it was
it's
when we
yeah,
were
it's
growing up.
safer.
So
No, it's safer.
no,
if you
I
if you saying where I grew up at, that wasn't safe. But
I don't know.
yeah. So or we can wait
Um,
until they're 17 and let them outside.
yeah, I mean that's fine too. Or you watch them, but I just feel like you have kids now who cannot read at a third grade
No,
level who are 15,
yeah,
16, 17.
yeah.
Like, should we be tackling that first before trying to, bring all these kids in for a family and pay a family $5,000? Like, that's not enough resources to even make them an upstanding citizen.
That's kids not reading at the grade level. That's a family problem. That's a personal problem. I mean, that's not a
But that's rampant now.
it's rampant because of the parents. A lot of these parents, they're not good parents, and
They shouldn't be
we need
parents. So why are
ex-
we making more
exactly. We need,
kids?
but the parents who are responsible, who are getting married, they're working with their kids after school. They're teaching their kids how to sit at a table and write their alphabets and write in cursive and read in cursive and do math and algebra. We need more parents like that. The parents that you're
They don't
naming,
need $5,000 though. The
some
parents
of
who
them
are
do.
doing that are not. Their majority of them are not parents who need an extra $5,000 a year.
They'll take it. I mean, who wouldn't take it? But like I said, lower their tax rate so they're not, so their income
Yeah,
is not getting taxed as heavily. But the, I mean, you can go in a city like Baltimore and see kids that can't read, and they may be 16 years old enough to drive, and they
yeah,
can't even read the driver's manual. So,
yeah.
uh,
No, that's facts.
yeah, so yeah, it's we all went to school with that one kid who would hide under the desk when it was time to read out loud. So,
Yeah,
but
one.
it
These
was
are
one.
classrooms of kids who cannot read.
Yeah, and
That's a lot.
now that I'm an adult, like I know I'm laughing, but it was always you knew who couldn't read. Like they found every excuse not to read. Like they will hide. They will hide. Oh, I can't find my glasses.
Mhm.
Yeah, them kids were funny. So, but now, I mean, you got millionaires and billionaires that make money off entertaining and other stuff. So kids just figure out like, you know, why do I need education? Why do I need school when I can, you know, go on TikTok?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Still
So
need to read though.
yeah, definitely. You're gonna need to read those
You got to
contracts.
read TikToks. Yeah,
You gotta
contracts.
but it's a lot of them. So this next story, this last story we're going to touch on. I know we touched on something similar last week when we were talking about Tracy Ellis Ross, her age gap dating. I think she was in her early 50s, and she said, she stated she liked to date younger guys, and I took younger as meaning in their 30s, not in their 40s. Um,
Hmm.
and we got Shannon Sharpe, and I know you don't watch sports, so
But I am familiar with Shannon though.
okay, well, right. Shannon Sharpe, is a Hall of Fame NFL tight end. Before this current news cycle, he was in the news last week, and I thought about putting him on our agenda to talk about him, and it was for something positive. So
Okay.
he was in the
So
headline
we should
previously.
discuss that too.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna touch
Okay.
it. So
Okay.
previously, he was in the headlines for possibly receiving $100 million uh, media contract for his
Oh
media
wow.
network, which is Club Shay
Wow.
Shay,
Mhm.
Nightcap, um, and some other podcasts that are falling under his Club Shay Shay or Shay Shay Media
Mhm.
umbrella. And so that happened. That story broke with $100 million. That broke. I think we went live or we made a video Sunday. So I'm gonna say that story came out Saturday or Sunday because I wanted to talk about it, but
Okay.
like I said, I'm like, why talk about this? You don't know sports, and you probably don't want to talk about sports because that's where he gets a lot of his attention from. He's one of the biggest personality in
Yeah.
sports media, and now he's a big
Right.
just media personality on YouTube, ESPN, and all of
Mhm.
that. So, uh, so now he's back in the news for another reason. The Hall of Fame tight end is in the news because he's being sued by a girlfriend who's alleging that he assaulted her, and it kind of like coincides with the $100 million contract possibly coming down the pipeline, and now
Well, is it
his
coming down
girlfriend
the pipeline now?
probably not. The sponsors
Yeah.
don't want to deal with that.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
now his girlfriend is, suing him. She's alleging assault, a civil lawsuit. So I think the lawsuit is for, I think, 50 million, which is half the money he was reportedly gonna make with the media contract. And so it's something that
Yeah.
you and I talked about via email. Like, what are your thoughts on what's going on?
Well, I would like to say, just kind of touching on the positive, 100 million is, ooh, I love to touch 100 million one day. That's a lot of money, but he has just, I mean, Club Shay Shay, he
Mhm.
does his thing, and I believe Nightcap is the one with Ocho Cinco, right?
Yes, yes.
Chad. So yeah, both of those shows are obviously really good. So
Mhm.
I don't want to take Shannon, if you ever look at this, I don't want to take away from what you're doing because I wouldn't mind being a part of Club Shay or the whole production company.
Mhm.
Um, but I would like to touch on obviously his alleged relationship with this person who is filing suit against him.
Mhm.
It's obviously being said that she's a younger woman. I believe she's 19
Mhm.
or 20.
Yeah, so
And
that hasn't been confirmed.
oh, it
And so
hasn't been confirmed. Okay.
no, it hasn't been confirmed. So I think that was the
Okay.
first number that went on the internet. But you got internet journalists and internet investigators, and so I think some people were able
Right.
to find her actual age
Okay.
and her actual profiles online. But she's in her 20s, but she's not like 18, 19, 20. She's older than that.
So like 29.
She's in her 20s. I don't know about
Okay.
25,
So she could
29.
be 20. Okay.
No, 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 no. We already confirmed from what I understand. She's not 19, 20, or 21. She's in her 20s. She's not, I'm not reading
Okay.
29 from the
Okay.
reports that I'm reading, but let's just say she's in her 20s just to make it
Let's say
easy.
okay. We could even say she's 29 because
Okay.
that'll put her on the longer end, right?
Okay.
Shannon is what, 56?
Uh 50 in his early 50s. I think he's around the same age as Tracy
I think he's
Ellis.
56.
He's in his 50s. Okay, let's say his 50s.
Okay. So he's 56. Let's say he's 56. She's
Mhm,
29.
mhm.
You think he has business dealing with her?
I mean, it's illegal. She's an illegal and an adult. It goes, like I said, it goes back to what we talked about last week with Tracy being in her 50s and saying she doesn't date guys in her generation. So her generation will be 50, 40 something to probably late 50s. She's probably dating guys that are in their late 20s, 30s as well. But she commented she hasn't had any success. But with the Shannon situation, from what I understand, she's a legal adult. Uh, and like I ended last week saying, love who you want to love. I know you block your blessings for the younger men.
I
Uh,
do. I in fact
but
do.
but love who you want to love. But I just found it kind of suspicious that the alleged $100 million contract is in the news, and all of a sudden the lawsuit. is in the news. So I know you got a different take on that.
I do. So does the timing seem off? Yes.
Yeah,
Could she have potentially been looking for a come up? Also, yes.
yeah,
But he's old enough to know better. He's successful enough and he's
yeah. I
been
agree.
successful enough for a very long time to
Agree.
where he needs to have some sort of discernment, I feel
Mhm.
like. Um, you're this older gentleman, and I'm using the number 56 because I'm pretty sure that's what I thought when I looked up his age. Her being in her 20s, like we discussed this with Tracy Ellis Ross. I said 40s. When she said younger men, I assumed that was 40s. I know that
Mhm.
you're saying 30s. You're for whatever reason assuming 30s.
She
Um,
said guys not in her generation, so that's the reason why I assume her. I don't know what. So if I'm a millennial, her generation will be the one before mine. So I'll assume she's dating younger, meaning she's dating millennials. Because you got to imagine millennials stretch from early 30s to early 40s.
okay. Then let's
So I
take out the guesstimation.
okay.
She's not in the news for anything
Yeah.
crazy. He is.
No, not at all. Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
So
this is his story.
so
This is his stuff.
yes. And his judgment obviously was wrong.
Yeah.
Um so I think that whether it looks bad or not, I feel like he has to take a little bit of accountability in this as well.
Agree. Agree.
Um because he is an older man. He just had the what is it? The audio leak. I don't know if you knew about that. The audio leak too.
Yeah.
And he's too old to like come on now. He always
Yeah.
talking about women. Like his persona just to me when it comes to women isn't I think as polished as it should
Mhm.
be for a
Right.
man of his caliber. That's my
Right.
opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
Um
And we got to keep in mind, like, I don't know if he's playing a character uh, or not, but like you said,
mhm.
we just heard about him in the media a few months ago, 3 months ago with some audio leak.
Yeah.
So part of me is thinking like, is this a real lawsuit or is he doing this for you know what they call it, clout and PR
That would
reasons
be silly.
to
Anything
put his name
related to
in the media cycle. So, but
I think
I
that would
mean,
be silly on his behalf.
yeah, yeah. And anytime, like I brought this up when we talked about some other stories relating to individuals who are well known. You got to be careful how you move because a lot of people are looking to, take
Yeah.
advantage of the resources that you have. Whether this lawsuit is or the evidence is going to be real evidence or just hearsay, she say, and a bunch of
Mhm.
fake text messages and fake audio. You got to be careful how you move when you're making money because people
Agreed.
see you as a meal ticket. People they may see you like, oh, she went to college, she got 2 degrees. I'm about to say she did something to me because they trying to get your money. And I'm gonna tell
Yeah.
him like, no, Kaya not like that. Kaya don't do things like that. So, but I mean, you got to definitely be careful how you move, and he's gonna lose a lot of sponsors because of this. It's like something that
Yeah.
we talked
Yep.
about. We talked about creating this, sigh of relief. Like certain
Yeah.
topics we need to stay away from. We don't need to be too
Mm.
explicit. We
Yep.
don't. We need to stay away from politics. We don't need to be talking about, you know, intimate details because you know,
Right.
companies don't want to hear you make moaning noises on an audio clip. They don't want to hear you.
No, they
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, right. They don't want to hear you. They don't want to hear you talk about what is it called? The people who wear those chains and they like rough.
B
Yeah, they
dot
don't.
dot dot. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't want to be into B dot dot dot. Companies don't want to sponsor that. If you into that, wear your
Yeah.
chains and your dog leashes at home. Don't don't bring it to the internet. Um,
Agreed. I
and
agree.
everything will be fine. Because
I
you got to
would be
imagine,
mortified. I feel like
right?
you would be mortified too if a tape, just audio of you doing, something private, I would be mortified.
Right.
So to have that, not that long ago, then you have
And
this, not good look.
and honestly, I wouldn't even. I'm not gonna say I wouldn't care about the sponsors. Of course, you care about your sponsors because you work for them or you have a
Hmm.
partnership with them.
Right.
I'll be concerned with my mom listening to that. I don't want my family
I
to
mean,
like
yeah.
if my family listens to that, when I go to the family reunion, when I go to the Christmas dinner, they're gonna
Hmm.
talk about it. It could be a year
Oh
later, they're gonna
yeah,
talk about it. It could be 10 years later, they're gonna talk about it. Like my
for sure.
family, like we all joke. I don't know how your family is, but we roast each other, we talk about each
Oh
other,
yeah.
and
Yep.
it's gonna come up, and I'm gonna have to hear this the rest of my life.
Yep. And
So
does he have kids?
yeah, oh yeah, he got kids as well. So his kids are gonna uh hear,
That's
I
also
don't and
difficult.
gonna hear it. They heard the first audio clip, and I think he apologized for the first audio clip. But for the second one, for what I understand, it was released, but uh, I think he released a statement saying it's been modified and they
Yeah.
edited the clip. But it's also funny that the same attorney that
Mhm. Agreed.
comes after
Jay-Z.
celebrities
Yeah.
is coming after him. Because
Yeah.
I don't want him coming after me, so I ain't gonna say nothing bad about you, bro. So keep doing what you're doing. Don't come after me. Uh, I mean, anybody can come after you for a lawsuit. Like I said, once you have resources and assets, you can be Walmart. Somebody's gonna trip and slide on your floor and say they broke their hip. So
Right.
you gotta be careful the way you move.
Yeah. Agreed. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. Like what he should take away from this is he's getting older. He's I'm sure a mentor to people. People look up to him.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, definitely.
you need to be responsible.
Mhm, mhm. So, I think you say you don't like younger guys. Uh, but what would be your advice for women that want to date younger guys and men that want to date, younger women? Like, what would be your advice?
I think my advice would just be to be responsible. I don't feel like in two, like, okay, I feel like you should be responsible.
Mhm,
I don't really know what somebody who's almost 60 has in common with somebody who's in their 20s.
mhm.
And I hear a lot of people saying they're legal, they're legal. Just because something is legal doesn't make it ethically
Right,
or morally right.
right.
Um,
And I think
so
that's a lot of people argue that because it's so subjective. Like what's morally right
mhm.
to
Yeah,
me may not be morally right to you. So a lot of people just
agreed.
abide by
I
the
agree.
law, and the law
Yeah.
states that if it's two consenting adults, uh,
Hmm.
you know, let it rock. Like I was joking last week, and I said, "Hey, don't be surprised if Tracy Ellis Ross is sitting in this chair beside me."
Yeah.
But I think you used the word what manifested. I think that's what you said.
Hmm.
I've
Manifestation.
been manifesting and she ain't here yet. So in the future, she may be here, and I don't want to hear no word from you about me getting
Hey,
this Miss Tracy Ellis Ross.
you're well of age though, so that's fine. But not saying that you're old or anything.
Right. So
But
look, you just said I'm old. You just said I'm 52 now. So
no, I'm just saying I don't see what I would have in common with somebody
yeah.
who's 60. Um, so I think that we also have to be realistic there too. There's a
don't
power
don't block
dynamic.
don't block your blessings. Your
I
next
mean,
man may be 70. Don't block your blessings.
hey, he may be, but we also have to acknowledge that he's a very powerful man. He's in a lot of rooms. That plays a part too. He has access to certain resources that somebody, who is not well off in their 20s don't have.
Mhm,
So I think there's a lot of layers to this.
mhm.
Obviously, we'll see it play out, and
Yeah.
I hope that the right thing happens. But
Right. Right.
we got Shannon got to be more responsible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has to be more responsible from the previous audio clip that came out. Uh, just all around, you have to be careful who you allow in your life.
Yes,
Once
for sure.
you build resources or you build a media empire like him, it's
Yep.
just it's sad all around.
Yeah.
To see his rise and to potentially see his fall.
Yeah.
So just stay
Agreed.
responsible. Just stay responsible. So stay at home like Kai and myself at night, and don't be in the streets. So
Or choose your spouse, or your I don't even know if I want to call him a spouse. What do people call they side pieces these days?
he's not married, so I wouldn't call it a side piece. That's why I said his girlfriend. I think I described her as a girlfriend because that's what
I don't even think we should describe it as a girlfriend. There's a term that the young people use. I don't know what it
a
is
fling.
though.
Fling?
It's kind of like a fling, but it's a new
A
word
sneaky
for
link?
it. Something like
Okay.
that.
Sneaky. It's
Choose
funny
your
because
sneaky links better.
it's funny, I didn't even know what a sneaky link was until probably 2 years ago. Somebody mentioned it to me. I said, "What's that?" And they described it. And I said, "What?" I said, "Why are you doing all that? Why are you hiding all this? If you're single, they're single. Why y'all hiding these relationships? Like, why?"
I guess
She
that's
described
what flings do.
This girl described a sneaky link to me, and she said that somebody she worked with wanted a sneaky link. So he wanted to be intimate with somebody at his job, but he didn't want
Mhm.
anybody at work to know about it. So
Of course, yeah.
when she described it to me, I said, "That's just so crazy to me. Like, don't date your coworkers.
Hey, plenty of people get married from dating their coworkers.
Who
Like,
you dating at work?
nobody.
We gonna
But that's
find you
not to say
somebody
that
at
I
work."
wouldn't.
Yeah,
That's not to say I wouldn't.
you're right. What if the CEO is 70 years old? He's single. He come down one day and say, "Hey, I like your red
No.
blouse. I've been looking at you all day.
Hey, the
I want to
CEO
see
got
what's
some
up."
money.
See, look. We're gonna be talking about Kaya with $100 million deal.
But my
Getting
CEO is
suing.
married, so not my CEO, somebody else's
Okay.
CEO.
Well, look, he may got a son.
Not my age, but um, but anyhow, we're gonna count on Shannon to be more responsible, and we're gonna see where this goes. I feel like we will touch base on this in the future
Yeah,
again.
yeah,
So
definitely. And from what I understand, he tried to settle this out of court, but
for a
she
lot of
went.
money, though,
Yeah, I
he
mean, a
tried to
lot of
settle for a
people.
lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of people. I think it was 10 or 20 million. A lot of people try to settle out of court because it's not worth the bad PR. It's not worth the
But for
bad PR.
10 million,
That's normal. That's normal.
I don't know. You don't think
Look,
he
think about
maybe
this.
feel a little guilty?
Think
Ten
about this.
million?
If I potentially had $100 million contract, and you want to settle with me for 10 million, or I want to settle with you for 10 million, and then you come after me for 50 million, you got to think, do I want to give her 10% of the contract, or do I want to get sued for 50% of the contract?
But she must have a strong case to turn down 10 million and go for 50.
A lot of times it's the lawyers who push a lot of this stuff because the person may not want to even pursue 10 million, 20 million, even 1 million.
Mm,
It's the lawyers that are trying to milk the process,
I
get
wouldn't
the
have even
most amount of
cared.
money.
I would have
But
told the lawyer, nope.
some of these lawyers are professional, like
Yeah.
bag chasers. Like I said, the same lawyer, he came at the Jay-Z, he came at the Deshaun Watson, uh, he come after a lot of people. He come
Okay.
after a lot of people, and I think he's based out of Houston.
Oh
Um,
Lord.
and so it's a lot. If you go read about this guy, it's you got a lot of shady stuff going on.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so Mr. Tony, don't sue me. 10 million, 20 million, 30 million. I ain't got it. As you heard,
$20.
as
Try
you
to pay
heard,
off my student loans.
we ain't even paid our student loans yet. Look, we ain't got it. Kanye probably got it.
Ain't
I
got it.
know
I
I ain't got it.
definitely ain't got it.
So I give 20 pennies. So, but yeah, so yeah, that's just be responsible. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to just be responsible with any
Yep.
relationship, whether you're dating, whether it's an age gap relationship, uh, somebody you was married to, your
Yep.
sneaky link. You got to just be responsible.
This is
Hell, I
true.
mean,
This is fact.
I'm pretty sure your neighbors will try to sue you if you won a lottery. They gonna say you crossed
I made too much
property
noise.
line. Yeah, you made too much noise. You crossed the property line. They're gonna sue you.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
people see you got money, they want some. So
Yeah.
we'll see how
This
this
is true.
plays out. So with that being said, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. What's today? Wednesday. Our next episode will be Sunday.
Monday. Monday.
Oh, Monday. Okay, our next episode will be Monday. And that's it. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, everyone.